Hello everyone, Josh first back at again with some more Epic 7 news, and today is Wednesday, so you know what that means. It is update day here. It is the 424 patch notes, and we finally have the full information on the current collab with Guilty Gear and Epic 7. Now, as a lot of you know, we've been seeing a lot of pictures, over the course of the past couple of days, showing mostly Soul Badguy and Baiken. And yes, so those are going to be the two characters that are featured in the first part of the new Epic 7 X Guilty Gear collab. I'm assuming Dizzy might be coming in the next part. I have no idea, but I feel like Dizzy is definitely going to be the next banner character. I'm not sure if they're just going to make her the side story boss for the NPC, or if they're actually going to bring her as a free-to-play character possibly as well, giving us two free-to-play characters in total. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyways, today after the maintenance, which by the way will be 6 hours long at least, and that's bearing in mind with any delays or any problems like that could extend it further. But yes, it'll be about 6 hour maintenance today, guys. I believe it's 1800 to 0 UTC time, so at 6 hours like I said. But anyway, so Soul Badguy is the free-to-play character. Now, I'm not exactly too thrilled about that. Generally, when you do a collab, you always take the main protagonist of either the anime or the game's franchise, and you feature that as a limited character. I 110% feel that the only reason Soul Badguy was the free-to-play instead of Baiken is for the sole reason that Baiken has tits. And we already know how this game likes to market their characters. So, honestly, that's a little bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, we know Smilegate is all about the money, so we could pretty much proclaim why they went about making that decision. But that doesn't mean Soul Badguy is terribly bad, even for a free-to-play 5-star. Now, keep in mind, you will be able to get enough copies of him to 6-star him, so that is a plus. And the fact that he's actually not bad, which we're going to talk about in a moment, is also another plus. I feel like he could have easily probably still been in a banner with the actual skill set that he actually has. Now, until we get the data mine leaks and stuff like that later after the main, it's probably sometime tomorrow. We won't really know these new character skill multipliers per se just yet. But if we go by their actual skill set, they're not too bad. Now, as all of us pretty much speculated, Soul is a fire warrior, Baiken is a thief earth. So a lot of us were spot on with that, which leaves us to believe that Dizzy might indeed be ice mage. But we'll see what happens. That way they can bring us one of each element, which would make perfect sense. Plus, we have yet to have a mage featured on a banner in this game outside of Moonlights. So that would be great. But anyways, you can see the little animation going on there for Soul Badguy. That's his S3 animation, I do believe. Now, I am a little bit disappointed in the fact that Soul Badguy does not have Dragon Install as a transformation mechanic, similar to what Tamarine already has in the game, which would have been absolutely A1, top-notch, top-tier, beautiful, amazing. We did not get that, and that's a bit unfortunate. I felt like maybe they went with a more lazy approach in building him. Sadly, we'll be getting back to that point as well later when we talk about Baiken's S3 animation. A lot of you may be very disappointed, but nonetheless, there is Soul Badguy. This is his skill sets. He's got Gunflame as an S1, Volcanic Viper S2, and Tyrant Rave version beta as his S3. Now, of course, his S3 we're only going to talk about after Awakening, not before, because that's all that matters. So, his S1 attacks an enemy with a fire pillar. Damage dealt increases if the enemy isn't buffed. Gain fighting spirit when a critical hit is made. Now, keep that in mind. He gets fighting spirit with a critical hit. That's not an issue. You probably want to build him high crit rate, which, spoiler alert, you'll be wanting to do the same with Baiken when we get to her in a moment. The only bad thing about his S1 is the fact that damage dealt is increased if the enemy isn't buffed. Now, until we know the skill multiplier, we're not going to know how much exactly that attack is going to be kind of buffed. If the enemy's not buffed or whatever. So we'll have to wait to find out what the difference is. But that makes his S1 extremely situational. I feel like they want you to use him with the new Moonlight Rin, the new Moonlight Ball, and Shazam, perhaps, because they are both strippers, or play him with any kind of stripper, like possibly even Charles, for example, or Tywin with his S1, or maybe even Gerardo. You know, anybody who's basically built for stripping would run alongside Soul Badguy very well, particularly for his S1. Now, that's not to say that he's not self-efficient, because we'll get to his S3 as well, which will kind of help with his S1. But, yes, so somewhat of a situational S1, but I'm not too upset about that because his S2 kind of makes up for a lot of it. So, S2, very interesting. Now, there might be some translation issues here, so it may not be perfect. But anyways, counterattacks and silences. Yes, you read that correctly. Counterattacks and silences for 2 turns when an enemy uses a non-attack skill or when the caster is attacked by an elite or boss monster. This is going to make him absolutely phenomenal in PvE content, specifically Golem 11 farming. You pair him up with Fire Ken, or even if you don't have Fire Ken, he's going to be insane. Okay, he's going to be absolutely insane because every time the boss or elite monster attacks, he's going to counterattack. Now, again, that's on a 2-turn cooldown, but still, very, very cool. So he has a built-in counterattack mechanic and silence for 2 turns. Now, obviously, a boss can't be silenced, but a elite can. And so can a healer in PvP. So when I originally looked over the skills, like, you know what, maybe his skill set doesn't really allow him to be a PvP unit. But then I thought, you know what, when you're playing against all those damn healers that are doing all those non-attack skills, he's going to counterattack and silence them for 2 turns, which is going to be incredible for you people out there who hate fighting DNs or hate fighting Angelicas, etc., etc. So very interesting there. Now, one thing to note, though, the effect resistance meta is getting pretty insane right now. It's starting to heat up because of what Moonlight Air Mytha kind of did to PvP. It made everybody kind of rethink life, at least briefly, and start considering using more E-resist sets than we ever thought of in the first place. But now a lot of people are starting to use that and get over 100, 150% plus effect resistance in PvP. So that may become somewhat of an issue for Soul in the future, but until that's really completely taken over the meta, you know, we're still in that speed meta. So I'm thinking that S2 should, that passive should still be pretty relevant for at least a little bit of time, at least. Another interesting thing is his damage dealt increases proportional to the enemy's max health. Can only activate once every 2 turns, like I've already mentioned. Now, the fact that it's proportional to the enemy's max health is good because that means even if the enemy has low HP, you're still going to hit them extremely hard because it's based on their max HP and not their current, and it's going to make him hit bosses very, very hard. So, like I said, he's still, in my opinion, more built for PvE than PvP, but he could still find a little bit of a calling in PvP, if you will, in certain situations and on certain team comps. So, kind of interesting. He's definitely a wild card, a different type of character than we're used to, which is not always a bad thing. Now, after awakening on his S3, dispels an enemy's all buffs with a strong punch, making them unable to be buffed for 2 turns, which is very good because I believe outside of Izaria, we really didn't have a unit that could really just say, you know what, you're not getting buffed at all for 2 turns. Very, very good S3. And by the way, his S3 is only a 4-turn cooldown. So not very long at all. And the fact that they're unable to be buffed for 2 turns is extremely good. Damage dealt increases proportional to the enemy's max health. Yet again, like I said, he is definitely going to be a boss killer. Specifically, Golem 11. He might be useful in raids, Abyss, as well as other hunt floors potentially, like maybe Dark Hunt and maybe Wyvern. I don't think Wyvern 11 would be a good place for him, though. But it could be if you put him in one of the back rows, because he doesn't have to be technically in the front. However, he won't be able to make too much use of his passive against Wyvern due to the way Wyvern 11 works of only hitting your leader. And you don't want to put him in your leader because he'd just get completely wrecked. But yeah, oh, by the way, Roman cancel on his passive. If Fighting Spirit is 100 at the end of an ally's turn, the caster consumes all Fighting Spirit before extending the duration of a buff and being granted an extra turn. So there's that as well, which will also kind of help make his, make his passive, I'm sorry, not his passive, but making his S3 a little bit shorter because of getting that free extra turn. So you can potentially take that 4-turn cooldown and make it a 3-turn cooldown, depending on how much Fighting Spirit you can get, which is very cool. So there's that. Now here's Baiken. You can see a little S3 animation here. This is what I was talking about earlier in the video. I'm a little bit disappointed. Her S3 animation is kind of very lackluster. It looks like they could have done a lot more with that. They really kind of took the cheap route, I would like to say. Definitely not good for a collaboration. The first collaboration the game's ever had. That a lot of people are pretty hyped for, regardless of if they like the game or the anime that was going to come in the collaboration. That S3 animation is very, very lackluster in my opinion. It's very lazily done. Let me know what you guys think about that S3 animation in the comment section below. Do you guys think that they poorly executed that for a limited character to have an animation like that just feels very low-key? But anyway, so there's Baiken. Earth Thief, as you guys already know. Skill description: attacks the enemy repeatedly with a 45% up to maximum 70% chance to inflict 2 bleed effects for 2 turns. A critical hit will reduce the caster's skill cooldown by 1 turn, which will work well with her S3 being a 7-turn cooldown. The skill is called Tatami Gaishi. And then you have Surin Sanzu Wadashi. Oh, that's all one word. Holy crap, that's a long one. And then we have Garyo Tensai, which I probably butchered the second one, but it's all good. It's all good, right? So her second skill is the one that gets the After Awakening, and it's a 4-turn cooldown. Attacks the enemy with expert swordsmanship with a maximum 80% chance each of inflicting 3 bleed effects for 2 turns. A critical hit will grant an extra turn. So that, of course, will also help making her S3 lower. So what's interesting is her S1 and her S2 can lower her S3. So that 7-turn cooldown really does not become very big at all due to the fact that her S2 and her S1 can lower her cooldowns. And her S2 and S1 lowering cooldowns also helps her S2 making it lower as well. So she's going to be doing a lot of bleeding. I feel like they completely made her a superior in every way to Surin, a character that we already have in the game that also is big on inflicting bleeds. So, very interesting. And her S3 can also be a soul burn to increase damage dealt with only 10 souls. That's not very high at all. Just 1 soul charge, and you're good to go. Delivers a deadly blow, detonating any bleed effects inflicted on an enemy at the end of the turn. A critical hit increases the combat readiness of all allies by 15%, maximum 25%. So she's got her own built-in CR push for your entire team as well on her S3, which, by the way, like I said, that 7 turns probably becomes more around 3 or 4 turns on average because of her S1 and her S2, which is pretty damn amazing. Now, what sucks is I can clearly tell you guys right now, she's going to be expensive Mulligora-wise, because I'm looking at her skill set, and it looks like you're going to want to increase every skill, potentially maxing out her S3 or S2 and getting her S1 to at least up to the 70% chance to inflict 2 bleeds. So she's going to be very expensive to skill up, no doubt. But yeah, she's pretty much a very, very upgraded version of Surin. Not bad. She's gonna be useful in all content, from what I can tell. She is a completely mass spam bleeder. She's just a spam bleeder. She's just gonna bleed like crazy. She's just gonna be bleeds everywhere. You could stack 6, 7, 8 bleed. Who knows? You're gonna be stacking bleeds like nuts, and that's interesting. That is very interesting. That means she's going to be pretty good, especially against Banshee. I feel like a lot of people are going to want to run her in Banshee 11. She's going to bleed the shit out of Banshee. Very, very nice. The fact that she can lower her cooldowns as well makes her very self-efficient with her own combat readiness push that she gives to not only herself but all allies, which is insane. At 25% is pretty huge when you can spam it potentially every 3 or 4 turns. We still are in a speed meta as well, so for PvP that's a thing. You want to build her high crit, as you can tell, just like Soul Badguy. Both these units you probably want to build with nearly 100% crit if you can. Definitely the way to go. Again, we're also going to have to wait for the skill multiplier, so we'll have to wait on all that info later on. But we're also getting the new Moonlight Heroes, Sage Ball, and Cezanne, and Crescent Moon Rain, which I'm not going to talk about these. A lot of you by now already know what these characters can do. They're both broken. They're both insanely good. They're both trying to bring a new way of dealing with really heavy buff units to kind of go in and debuff their buffs, giving them your buffs, and just completely dominating a team within, seconds, because what they're going to do is absolutely insane. These are both definitely turn 2 units. They do have some usefulness in their turn 1s, like Sage Ball and Cezanne can put you to sleep, I believe, and Rin can give you that first turn immunity. Yeah, so they do have somewhat usefulness with the turn 1, but they're definitely geared more towards turn 2 teams. We got the new artifacts, Junkyard Dog, which is free to play, which you can get from the side story. It has up to a 50% chance to burn enemy for 2 turns after using the skill. This is a warrior exclusive, so that's interesting. You could potentially give that to another heavy debuffer, like possibly Fire Ken. You could even give this to Soul Badguy yourself, or any other warrior unit you may want to use. Maybe even Surmia, for example. Whoever, whoever that you're using that you attack the most often with, especially if you're in PvE, and it's a warrior. Definitely not a bad card, I guess. You would have to completely max it out, of course, level 30 to get that 50% chance to burn for 2 turns. But still, it's decent. I mean, it's free to play. What can you expect? Definitely still not as good as the free to play 5-star Sword of Azera. That is still by far the best free to play artifact I think we've ever had in this game, and it's gonna be hard to top that. All right, Torn Sleeve, 5-star. This is the one that comes in the banner. The Baiken and Torn Sleeve banner, which you guys can see the picture for the drop rate up for that, which, by the way, will be limited, which means you have to summon 121 times if you want to guarantee to get her if you don't pull her before that, and she will be the only 5-star character available in that banner as well. So that means, guys, the despair is real. We probably will have 2 different limited banners that are both going to require 121 summons. A lot of us were hoping that maybe they would go down to 60 to possibly 80 because of the fact that we're going to have 2 back-to-back. But no, guys, it's going to be 121 each. Rip. But anyways, you can take this bad boy up to 100% to inflict bleed for 2 turns on a single attack. So, of course, you'd want to put that on Baiken. She totally wants that so she can keep stacking those bleeds. She's going to stack so many bleeds, it's going to just completely blow your mind. It's insane. They literally took Surin and upgraded her to maximum. And then Baiken was the result. All right, so maintenance, like I said, is going to be almost 6 hours long. Ugh. Rip. Guaranteed summon system, the 121, we've already talked about that. You guys know how limited works. Visitor from Another World, this will be the new side story. It's going to go on for a month. It'll be divided into a few parts here. We're going to try and skim down here to the actual rewards. So week 1, we're getting Soul Story. Week 2, we're getting Baiken Story. Week 3, we're getting Dizzy Story, which is funny because week 3 is also when Baiken's banner goes away and when we're probably going to get the Dizzy limited banner. I mean, obviously. And then week 4, we're going to be getting the final story. You can see here, just like the other side stories that we've had, you can go to easy, normal, hard, and hell difficulty. Just farm until your heart's content. We got some of those lot quests, the secret ones. They've been doing that every once in a while. They're bringing those back for this event as well. Some of the rewards that you can get will be amplified thanks to Junkyard Dog. Up to 50% chance if you max skill it. or torn sleeve is 70% chance if you max skill enhance that as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be for all parts or just the first two. I guess it might actually go for all of them, it seems. Oh, no, here we go. No, never mind. Not sure. I might have totally overlooked it. I have no idea. But anyways, attack, health, and defense, 50% chance increase if you use Guilty Gear collaboration heroes, which would be, of course, Soul or Baiken. And attack, health, 30% increase if you're using Craw, Azaria, Yuna, Ludwig, Falconer, Clury, or Cartusia. There you go. The event currency is Shattered Record Fragment, Token for the Chosen, and Ribboned Hairbrush. So here are all the rewards for the entirety, I believe, of the side story. Actually, do they show us? They actually don't. Oh, the token for the Chosen is actually a ticket for the special tournament that they were talking about in the side story, having in the I believe the developers' notes, I think a couple weeks ago. So the actual event currency that we can use for exchange is Shattered Record Fragment and Ribboned Hairbrush. So going through all this, you can get the 5-star Junkyard Dog one time, Hero Soul Badguy one time, and then with Ribboned Hairbrush, you can get him again and Junkyard Dog again. We get Horn of Desire, Blazing Rage, Shining Enchantment. Blazing Rage is back, rip. Black Curse Powder for the first part, which is nice. Erikian Carapace is alright. Sharp Spearhead. We're getting 2 Mulagoras seeds in total, it looks like. We need more Mulagoras. Giga Phantasmas. We're getting the Epic Life Runes, the other Life Runes. We're getting the Frost Runes and those other ones. We're getting pretty much the same stuff that we usually get in pretty much all side stories nowadays, except for the fact that we're getting a hero in a 5-star artifact as well. So, okay. And then here's all the reputations. We get quite a few leaves. So it looks like we're getting about 10 leaves or so, just by quick glance. I'm not really counting. Getting a little bit of gold, rare, catalyst, greater weapon, helm, and armor charm, more gold. We're getting boot, necklace, and ring charms. Those are nice. 5-star artifact, Junkyard Dog yet again. We're getting another artifact, Junkyard Dog, and then a 5-star hero, Soul Badguy. So that's at least 3 of them that I've seen so far. I'm sure maybe within a tournament you get the other copies of him, I'm assuming. We also get a gold transmit stone for completing everything. I'm getting quite a few silver transmit stones as well. Now, again, this is going to probably take you almost a whole month to get everything because it is a month-long side story. So you're not going to be able to get all this right away, which also kind of sucks because those of you who want a 6-star Awaken Your Soul Badguy, you're going to have to wait a while. And I mean a while. So he's definitely not going to probably be a lot of you players' priority in building up because of the fact that you can't 6-star him for a month almost. Because I don't think anybody's going to want to make him a 6-star when you can get free copies of him if you just wait it out. So I feel a lot of you probably aren't going to try and build him up for at least a month. At least to endgame level. So a lot of your priority is probably going to be in Baiken, I would say, at the moment. The tournament preview, a special tournament will be available exclusively during the 2nd and 4th weeks of the side story. Visitors from another world obtain event currency token for the Chosen and use it to participate in the tournament. If you are victorious in the tournament, you obtain victory rewards and also participate in the finals. Beat other heirs and obtain a variety of rewards. So it's just PvP, guys. Come on, dude. Smilegate, what the fuck? I knew you were gonna do that shit. I knew it. So tournament is just gonna be PvP. It isn't gonna be some cool story mode. You know, you gotta climb the ladder type of thing within the actual Guilty Gear verse. Man, that's just lazy. Smilegate, what the fuck? Really? It's just PvP. God damn it. Alright, anyways, before I lose my positivity here. Alright. Other improvements and bug fixes. We've got some hero artifacts battle. I'm not going to go through all this because you guys can read this on your own. A lot of it's just a bunch of useless information anyway, I'm assuming. I've skimmed through it beforehand, and there really wasn't too much stuff really worth talking about. So anyway, so that's that. I don't think we have anything else to talk about. I mean, we got this new collaboration special, $150, guys. Get your wallets out. You got to buy those Christmas packs. Again, that's pretty much what they are. You guys know what it's about. But I do believe that's it. I think that is everything. We got a Mulagora challenge coming back again as well, so definitely go out there and grab that free Mulagora. Got to get them when you can. They're hard to come by. And obviously they brought back the Mulagora pack because why not? It's time to make that money. So there you go. So get ready to drop about $200, guys. If you're wanting everything, both the collaboration packs and the Mulagora pack, it's about $200. Get ready to drop that. You know how it is. I'm just kidding. If you're free to play, you don't even give a shit. But anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed that. There was a lot to discuss. Hopefully I covered through everything and didn't miss anything. If I made any mistakes, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you guys so much. As always, have an awesome day wherever you are. It's going to be a long maintenance today, guys. If you're hyped to pull Baiken, let me know in the comment section below. Are you excited? Do you like their skill sets? Do you feel their skill sets were maybe a little bit underwhelming? Do you feel like the animations were a little bit underwhelming? What do you guys think about that? I personally think the skill set for Baiken is pretty accurate. I feel like Soul Badguy could have been changed a little bit. I feel like they really pushed him to PvE, but for him being free and for a lot of people out there trying to farm like Golem 11, for example, he's going to be very, very good. So I say overall, as a 5-star free-to-play, they did pretty good for him, I guess. I didn't like that he was a free-to-play. I was hoping that it would have been Baiken instead, and then Dizzy would have been the next banner. So it would have been Soul and Dizzy, the two main protagonists of the entire game. But, yeah, I guess hoes before bros in Smilegate's eyes. Big titties sell money, I guess. It makes sense. Whatever. Anyway, sorry, Soul. Your titties just weren't big enough to make the cut, bro. But anyways, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe for more if you are new. And tomorrow, we're bringing you guys Overhit Global. So get ready for that. Well, technically, it's going to be Overhit Canada. Overhit Canada and Aussie. So let's get ready to go and play some Overhit tomorrow here on the channel. So you guys are ready for that. Until next time, I'll catch you guys all later. As always, peace.